is RightShip? What is RightShip inspection? Who carries out the RightShip inspection? What is the objective of RightShip inspection? Who started RightShip? And other things about RightShip inspection. All right. It's good to know about the instructor and the author. This is a little write up about myself. You can read it and know who is the person who is giving you lectures, giving you instructions. Learning must is a joyful experience. So you must enjoy and learn the things. So let's go ahead, enjoy the course. RightShip was founded in 2001. What was the purpose? Purpose was to promote sustainable shipping, especially in the bulk carriers industry. There were safety issues involved in bulk carriers, like liquefaction of cargo, for example. That was one of the issues. And there are many other things actually. In 2016, RightShip founders uh, accommodated what is called carbon accounting tool to reduce environmental impact of the carbon emissions and provide practical steps to address the issues, CO2 emission, for example. In 2021, RightShip went through a tremendous change and came out with a vision statement of a maritime industry that causes zero harm. Because nobody knows about the maritime industries in general, the general public, but they do know whenever there is catastrophe. Recently, at Dali, a ship had a, had a collision with a bridge in the near Baltimore in the United States. Everybody knew about it. Some oil spills occurs, collision occurs. The world knows, but the world does not know that 90% of the world's cargo is carried out by the ship. If we do not have the ship or number of ships reduces, we will not have many things what we have, which we take for granted. Anyway, so the RightShip came up with a vision that we want a maritime industry that causes zero harm. So the resources were invested, provided by the Cargill, BHP Group, BHP Billiton, and Rio Tinto. These are the pioneers and big time players in the bulk carrier cargo industry. And it was they who started this RightShip business, RightShip inspection. So what is the objective of the RightShip inspection? Objective of the RightShip inspection is to assess the quality of bulk ships in the industry so that we have good tonnage which is used available to the industry and they can safely use. So primarily, basically, RightShip inspection is a risk assessment. Correct? Risk assessment. So the RightShip inspection, dry inspection, try to carry out, verify the familiarity and compliance of the ship's crew with the safety statutory requirements. Naturally, ship's crew is one of the important pillars of the industry. Without them, the ship cannot run. So they must be aware of the safety and statutory requirements of the industry. Also, what are the industry best practices? They must know and follow them on the ship they are sailing and working on. Outcome of the RightShip dry inspection is expected to reflect the actual condition and standard of operation of the vessel at the time of the inspection. Naturally, after the inspection is completed and something goes wrong, something occurs, or some steps which are need to be taken but not taken, inspection cannot be held responsible for that. All right. So the RightShip dry inspection allows the identification and assessment of risk that the use of subject vessel may cause to the charter's client requesting the inspection. So, all right, it is in the interest of the ship owner to get it inspected by the RightShip inspection so that they have a value in the market. Charter or the client who or shipper who wants to send the cargo through your ship, if the ship has undergone a RightShip inspection, they know where the ship stands and what are the risks involved in using the ship for carrying their cargo. All right. What is inspection procedure? There are certain guidelines laid down in the RightShip inspection guidelines, procedure to be followed by the inspection, by the inspector, and this must be followed at all time. It is expected that all inspectors will follow these guidelines. So, inspector, while boarding the vessel and the opening meet will take place before any inspection can begin. Inspector, when boards the vessel, must show a valid identification card upon boarding the vessel. ISPS requirement. The ship's crew has all the authority to ask anybody who is boarding the ship to ask for the ID papers, ID card. Inspector should not feel bad that the ship knows that I'll be boarding the vessel. So how dare they asking me to show my ID card? But that's the procedure. Ship has to follow, and also the inspector must show his ID. So the inspector must always wear appropriate PP and must set a good example in all respects. So all personal protective equipment he must wear when he goes for inspection. Whether it goes in the deck, in the engine, wherever. All proper PP, usual PP which we wear on the ship, he must be wearing those PPs. Ship may also provide in case something is going wrong, if he is missing, for example, he forget his helmet, for example. Okay, so this is RightShip wants that a highest standard of ethical behavior is maintained by all their inspectors. The inspector must have an opening meeting with the master. Generally, master and chief engineer are always there, or mostly they are there. Or in case master, usually if master representative means master will always be there as far as practically possible, unless, for example, he has been just admitted to the hospital for some reason. Chief engineer will also be there if chief officer is free or available and can spare time, because of whenever the inspection is taking place, it's taking place in the port and cargo operations are going on. So if he is free, he can also be available. The inspector is required to introduce themselves and outline the objective. We'll discuss what are the objectives of RightShip inspection, requirement, and plan for the inspection. He must agree with the master how the inspection will proceed, from where will start, which all area will visit. So inspector and the master representative should agree on the sequence of the inspection. So because ship's work should not hamper, the inspection should not hamper the ship's work. Some problem, some difficulty ship's crew might face when inspection is going on, which is natural. But as far as practical possible, interference between the ship's operation should not occur. So the sequence of inspection must not affect the safe operation of the ship or affect the rest hours of the ship person. This is also very important. The rest hours of the personnel should not be affected. Because inspection, if somebody is resting, let's say second officer, night watch, he was in the night watch, daytime he's been called, his rest is disturbed. These all things has to be kept in mind. The minimum PPE for RightShip inspection includes safety goggles, safety shoes, overalls, safety helmet, hearing protection when it goes to the engine room, glove, safety goggles, as I said first, and the RightShip high visibility vest. He must wear it. Okay. Normally, the RightShip provides that. During inspection, what has to be done? The inspector must always be accompanied by a qualified and responsible officer, whether in the deck, by the deck officer, whether in the engine by the engineer officer, maybe chief engineer or the first engineer or second engineer. The actual rank and hold access for physical assessment of the condition of ballast tanks. Actual tank and hold access for physical assessment of the condition of ballast tanks, void spaces, and cargo holds can be made only with the authority of the master, and provided that port and terminal regulations are met and allowed. If the port and terminal regulation does not allow entry into the tank or hold, inspection must not enter the hold or tank. All right. In all cases, the enclosed space entry procedure set out in the resolution A1050/27 revised recommendation for entering enclosed spaces on board the ship must be strictly followed. It will be proper to tell at this point, although this enclosed space procedure has been in existence for a long, long time, incidents are still happening because many time or sometime or when you're doing the same thing again and again, you tend to miss out or forget or not carry out the certain aspects of the procedure which need to be carried out, which is to be avoided at all times, because accident or incident needs to take place only once, then it's over. So every time it has to be followed. The enclosed space procedure in totality has to be followed. The inspector must be an observer throughout the inspection. This is important. Inspector must be an observer throughout the inspection and must not be involved or interfere with the operation or operate any item on board the ship. However, the inspector must notify the ship staff when he observes something unsafe condition. Something, suppose he observes, he sees, or some unsafe operation being carried out, he can point out. All right. Inspection shall not take place at night. Yes, nighttime inspection should not take place unless it has been authorized by the RightShip itself and agreed by the vessel's manager. Or in case it is inevitable, then the RightShip and the vessel manager will get together, discuss, and finalize. And approval will be given. Then only inspection will take place in the during the night. Otherwise, no. Most inspection, 90% inspection, 99 you can say, do not take place in the night. If the inspector notes any finding, remember the term finding. RightShip is not using term observation anymore. They are using the term finding. I'll explain this term finding little later. Then they must be pointed out and discussed at the time and the location where it was observed, would have found out. All right. It's not that inspection notes a finding, he notes it down, but doesn't tell the staff accompanying him at that particular moment. And he tells them only when he goes back and when the closing meeting is taking place. No. Inspector is required or expected to inform about the finding then and there with the person who is accompanying him. This way, the nature of the finding can be easily understood by the ship staff. Otherwise, they'll be confusing. What was the condition? What was the finding? And this will also reduce the duration of the closing meet. So, unnecessary time is not wasted during the closing meet. All right? Clear? Any question? You can always ask me or write to me or write in the comments. When the video is posted, I will come back to you. All right? Closing meet. The inspector must not provide any advice or suggestion on how to rectify any finding. When inspector is recording a finding and informing the finding to the master, presenting its finding to the people present in the meeting, inspector must not provide any advice or suggestion how to rectify the finding. It is between the vessel's manager and the ship staff. Inspector must not give any verbal indication about the overall inspection result. Some way it might be possible there some impression might be uh, found might be present on the face of the inspector, but on its own on his own inspector must not give any indication how the inspection went about. And definitely no verbal indication must be given. If in his face is showing that vessel is not good, though he's all right, what to do? And if his face is showing, oh, he's very pleased, then he also is good. But he should himself should not identify and verbally how the inspection went, what is the inspection result. A copy of the result, a list of findings must be provided to the master. So whatever the finding a inspector has, a copy must be provided to the master. All right. Inspector must record any finding on which action was taken to rectify while he was still on board. Suppose a finding was observed, found out, and he has told the finding, shown to the finding to the person who is accompanying him, and the finding were rectified then and there. So that this aspect he must record on his report. All right. So RightShip has come out with a questionnaire. It must be available to ship staff, and time to time it is also updated. Hmm. So RightShip inspection questionnaire. RightShip inspection questionnaire covers a series of questions. There are different topics, different subjects, different sections, which covers all part of the ship operation, ship or ship areas. The ship questionnaire covers a series of questions related to safety, environmental protection, maintenance, industry recommendation, and good practices. For inspection purposes, the vessel covered in RightShip inspection are grouped into 5 categories. So there will be ship bulk area that are carrying solid bulk cargo other than the grain, one type of inspection for those kind of ships. Bulk area that are carrying grain cargo, inspection for those ships. General cargo ship that are carrying general and or container cargo. Yes, apart from bulk area, these inspections are also carried out. General cargo are carrying general cargo and or container cargo. Container ship that are carrying container cargoes, and livestock carrier that are carrying the live stocks for export purposes, etc. All right. So the questionnaire will be different for different types of ship. Right? Inspection questionnaire. There are two options for the completion of an inspection using the ship inspection questionnaire. This is important. Note down. The first is the traditional approach where all questions are answered during a physical inspection. But naturally, it becomes a very lengthy. It takes time. The second is the hybrid approach, which is being followed nowadays mostly, where those questions denoted with the letter M can be completed on review of documentation provided by the vessel manager in advance of a physical inspection. So before the physical inspection takes place, documents are sent by the vessel manager to the inspector. So where the question denoted with the letter M can be completed on review of documentation. No need to physically inspect the vessel. It saves time. All right. With the remaining question denoted with the letter V, that means visually, completed during a subsequent shortened physical inspection of the vessel. So only the questions which are marked V, those are covered during the physical inspection. Questions marked M has already been checked by the inspector on the basis of the documents provided by the vessel manager. All right. For either approach, all questions must be answered. So inspector has to answer all the questions. Of course, answer as he found out from the documentation or by the physical inspection. All right. For any question, you may write to risk@rightship.com. So I sincerely hope you enjoyed this presentation. All the information, remember this, is taken from the RightShip website and is used for education purposes only. This information is available on the RightShip website, but the person ship staff has to go through, locate the information. eh. So I have compiled this and presented in a one session so that all ship staff, even the office staff, vessel manager can get benefited. All right, it's not for commercial use. All right, thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you all. From my side, Sanjeev Ahmed.